Here we go. Jasp versus Cabellero. We are back in the monthly tournament. In the first 1-0 monthly tournament. With two lovely players here. Cabellero and Jasp. Bringing in two interesting divisions. On Jasp's side. So let's switch sides. On the right. Jasp bringing in the 39th. And I think I did press pause. Or is this still set up? No, I guess this is still set up. Versus Cabellero on the left side. And I turned off my... What the fuck did I do? Okay. Music is playing again for me. Good. And yep, this should be quite interesting. 39th. We haven't seen this tournament so far. Their power comes from the BMP-3. Their infantry is mediocre, as all Soviet infantry currently is mediocre. And here we go. Meanwhile, 5th, also not the most amazing infantry, but the Leopard is a pretty good tank. Their airplanes are pretty good. And the Milan Marder is pretty good in killing tanks as well. But its 20 mil is a bit lackluster versus infantry. So both not divisions I would pick on this map. Because in the center, infantry is still quite king. So I think divisions like 8th are really strong on this map. Especially, I think especially 8th is really good on this map. As they are pretty good in fighting around in these forests. These forests here are really good for 8th infantry. Mi-24 going for the center. On the other side, we have Aufklärer, we have Rajvetka. And yeah, sorry for the little late stream today, guys. We had a friend of ours coming around who is an electrician. But yeah, he needed a bit longer to get off work and yeah, to install our stove. But we finally have a stove, so I finally have good coffee again. Because best coffee is made with one of these Italian, not quite sure how to call them. I forgot the name of them. But these Italian little espresso maker thingy-majiggies that allow you to make it really good coffee. I don't like a Turkish. The worst way of drinking coffee is German filters. Filtered coffee is just absolutely horrendous. Just pouring hot water over coffee in the filter. Ugh. So, yeah. Luke's getting hit. Eagle Eye coming in. Sicherung's coming in. And it's very good on the way in here. Sicherung's coming in here as well. Yeah, I make my coffee on the stove. With these Italian little coffee machine thingies. And my chair is... Ah! No! Don't fall apart, chair. Something is wrong with the chair. Which I installed yesterday. So yeah, I think I fucked up somewhere. Ah, I think I found where I fucked up. Yeah, okay. Smoke Brendan, thanks for the follow. Mehrzweckwaffe coming in. Good stream. Good cast of the game so far, obviously. And we have Rajvetka in the middle. TADB hitting the looks. Me trying to find a word for an Italian coffee machine thingy that you put on the stove. Good stream. Aufklärer is in the north. Pioneers and Ambrose got me in here. So Cabellero doing the same to Jasp, to what Jasp does to him in the south. So this game should be really interesting, as it is going quite swingy here. Pioneers with Flamethrower coming in as well. Ialetti. Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's the right word. The Perry coming in. Or is that just a brand? No. I'm pretty sure there's a brand called that as well. So I'm not sure if it's like a brand name that is also accepted as the general name for the thing. Or the other way around. This thing looks pretty damaged. It is pretty damaged. Down to 1 hit point. Leopards on the other side. They look quite healthy. Leader Leopard being called in for the center. To try to help out here. So Jasp under pressure in the center. But really good position here. Also brings the supply truck in to reinforce these units. So parries and so on. Getting their hit points back up. CQC infantry though, the Flam Patrone coming in on the other side. And this game really, one of the most dynamic ways you can have a game of two ways. With both sides entering the city of the others. So really action all over the map. Even in the center, both still try to fight as well. But as I said, TADBV needs to be really careful. With full hit points, a 1 versus 2 Leopard 1 Ace. A1s could actually be possible. 15 and 7 versus 18 and 17. So, but obviously with 1 hit point, you just don't want to risk it at all. Ural Snap though, coming in to get that repaired. You also want to have it recover its cohesion a bit more. So it is somewhat more capable in fighting. This, by the way, played before the new patch, so Veterancy is still really powerful on this. Veterancy is still really powerful. And time limit in the tournament will stay at 40 minutes, as also that will come to the normal ranked mode as well. Normal ranked mode time limit will be 40 minutes as well. Even though I like 30 minutes a bit. Like 30 minutes, it's not good for deck building. That's the main reason why it should be 40 minutes. That deck building with 30-minute ranked is just stupid. You just put everything on max veterancy. But I enjoy the speed in which the games go at 30 minutes. And that you're just like, oh yeah, half an hour, I have that time, let's go. Let's play ranked. Especially as this game doesn't have phase limit, so it doesn't need a longer C phase at all. So yeah, and it's all the same like level of conflict basically all game through. So for 30 minutes, I feel like that's better time length than 40 minutes often. But I mean, most games will end at 30 minutes anyway, even with 40-minute time limit. Leopard will fight TADBV here. Leopard over here, engaging the UWATs, get it killed. Rajvedka will engage the Sicherungs. Meanwhile, in the north, Fernspeer coming in. And both sides really not having too many points controlled. Jasp yet has to get control over his zone. BTR is at least ready in the middle, but the Leopard is coming in there as well. Meanwhile, Red Cabellero getting 2 flags for himself. But I mean, we're only 7 minutes in, so obviously still a lot of time. But you don't want to... you want to have an eye on your enemies ticking. Sometimes this can become really stressful. If your enemy is constantly ticking on a +4, at the beginning you're like, oh yeah, I still have time. And then in the end, it's getting to like 1,500 and so on. You have to start sweating in getting your leaders in. It can be quite stressful. Obviously, the risk you take, for which you get rewarded more units at the front line, but yeah. Also, we see Red Caballero selling his transports, not using them as cheap recon. I'm still not quite sure which is the better way of doing things. Selling them, because first of all, they take quite a while to get back, or using them as cheap recon. I went with selling, but a lot of people still use them as recon, and I'm not sure if that's just a leftover of Red Dragon, if it's efficient, if that is really efficient, or if you not should rather go for things that actually can kill things. But yeah, saw them quite often as cheap recon lately again. Fuchs in this mode still 10 points, so they are absolutely amazing. Now on the new patch they are 20 points, so they're a bit more balanced. Meanwhile, Gepard and Leopard will fight a Motostrelki over here in a second. Motostrelki gets a good hit against the Leopard, but Gepard should do some solid damage here. Wow, it deals surprise. Compared to a Shilka, this damage of the Gepard is laughably little. Like, it nearly shoots all its ammo to kill one Motostrelki. What the hell? The Motostrelki is not even killed. The Motostrelki going to kill the Gepard here. Oh my god, what? Meanwhile, Red Caballero goes up to a +7 and gets close to a +9. If he unloads the one in the north, it's even a +11. Okay, middle gets recaptured. Ooh, leader in the rear goes out. +9 obviously would be absolutely insane. With +9 you tick up there really, really quickly. But what the hell was that? How did the Gepard not kill that thing? Yeah, that guy. Oof. But that Gepard also wasting nearly all its ammo to kill a single infantry unit. Also oof. Especially if you compare that with a Shulker that stuns things in 0.5 seconds. Bench Bay over here. Engaging Zaperi. Zaperi not seeing them because elite stealth. And even after firing 20 salvos, the Zaperis are still completely oblivious to what is actually happening. They're just dying one by one. Bench Bay elite stealth strategies, they're working. Mehrzweck Waffe tornadoes coming in to spread some love, some magic dust. Clean out one half of the city, but the other one is not hitting. But these units easily couldn't win this. Also not sure why this one is not in. Meanwhile, Jasp finally gets control of at least one section of the map, which is the center. But yeah, if this would go in, that would still be a +3 for Red Cabellero, which would speed things up quite a bit. Now it's a +1 for Jasp instead, as he controls 7 points with this. Well, there's only 6 points with the 3 zones for Red Cabellero. But he has a firm grip on the north. Jasp seems to have given up there completely. He's also quite close to pushing Jasp out here. Now these units all for the middle. It looks like it. But there is a Red Shvedka and a Motostocky BMP in really good spots up here. They already killed off one Leopard over here. They might kill off more units coming in there. And Jasp is finally ticking. Though Red Cabellero has found the error. He would already be close to like 1500 or so if he would have had this 4+3 tick and 4+1 tick throughout the last couple of minutes. So yeah, quite lucky there for Jasp that didn't happen. Also this Leopard maybe could even sneak in here. If it would do so, could maybe even find the BTR and then try to get some more extra ticks in around here. But currently it's a +1. If this would sneak in here, it would be a +4 and the game once more would speed up super heavily. Meanwhile, more Sicherungs and so on trying to go for the middle. Looks able to spot the units there, but 2 more BTRs died here. BTR, 2 Leopards down here. Vedvedka doing a pretty good job together to Motostraki. Lux goes down to the TADB. And these are in good spots now to ambush things coming down there. Jasp in the center in a pretty good spot, but really heavily under pressure in the south. Now tries to bring in units in the north again, but trying to get into his town is quite tough. Luckily for him at least, Caballero didn't move through the town and can still get into the first couple of buildings here. But it will not be easy to contest that. One of the TADBVs in the middle goes down, but Gerald is around. Meanwhile, Panzer Grenadiers is in the south, helping out. More tanks coming in here. M48s. TADBV is getting repaired. Sicherungs moving forward. Sicherungs not having any anti-tank weapons, but they should be okayish against the Red Shvedka. Though the Red Shvedka is level 3 veterancy as it already got some kills. And it started, or it might have started on this level of veterancy, but it will be quite capable against these units. It should be quite capable against these units. In a 1v1 even. Ah, it's actually losing. Okay. Got stunned. Okay, now it's dead. Now too much firepower comes against it. TADBV is fully repaired. Meanwhile, south is going at a +1 tick speed. Units over here trying to come in. The BMP3s with their big 100mm heavy gun is trying to help out here against the Fenchbeer. Doing some okay damage. But push is also contested by the Leopard over here. Metis though does solid damage. Gets an okay hit there. Next Metis on the way. Not quite as insane anymore as it was back in the day. At launch the Metis were absolutely busted. Now they might be a slight bit too weak. Osa is getting some kills here. Yes, bringing in the leader in here. Bringing the tick back to his side. But the Sicherungs and Motostralkis, together with the really good Milans, no, Sicherungs and Panzergrenadiers get in here. TADB dies. Leopard came around to shoot it in the rear. Yeah. Leopard came there, around there, gets the kill. And with that, if Red Cabellero is careful, he can contest the center. And that would give him a +2 again. 25 minutes remaining. BTR and Motorstrelki pushing forward. Saperi under fire by the Fanspeer and the Panzergrenadier. Ooh. EMP2 coming in here with the Conquerors. Conquerors flying for the Leopard. Leopard not quite getting the one-shot kill, but the Conquerors miss. And that is the end of the BMP2. BMP3 now. No, another BMP2 actually coming around. Going for the Leopard. Leopard this time blind. But the Conquerors... Wait, that should easily deal damage, right? 20 versus 7 frontal armor, yeah. But they miss. They miss time and again. Jasp still at the +1. But units now pushing in here. Motorstrelki disengaging. And the Leopard will be there in a second to bring it back to a +2 for Red Cabellero. And at that stage, it will become tough for Jasp. On the way at least to contest the north as well. Then all 3 zones would be contested, but all 3 zones looking better for Red Cabellero right now. South, Jasp is on the edge. Center, there's basically nothing but a Motorstrelki in here versus quite a lot of infantry for Red Cabellero. And the north, Red Cabellero has the town. So Jasp under absolutely heavy pressure here in this one. Tornado gets hit. Tornado gets the kill though with the Mehrzweckwaffe on the leader. So Red Cabellero gets the center, the south, and that's a +4 now in a second. There we go, +4, 1,500 points already ticked. And the Motorstrelkis are engaged by some Panzergrenadiers. Martyrs and more Panzergrenadiers on the way. First Martyr instantly gets annihilated, but Motorstrelki is now stunned down. And they might die before they can recover from this. It looks like it. Yeah, they go down now. And there's nothing protecting the BTR now in the south. On the other side, Su-22 HE bomber coming in, getting some nice hits, but also running into a Gepard, which might not end well for the Su-22. Yeah, it goes down. It goes down. Meanwhile, Jasp got a Motorstrelki into the rear. Sniping this, bringing it back to a +2. A good snipe there with the Motorstrelki. So, nice behind the line action on that one. Over here, BTR though gets pushed out. And that should bring it to another +3 here. For Red Cabellero. Yes, it happens. Jasp at least bringing in the leader in the north, but as I said, really heavily under pressure even here. Jägeraufklärer now moving forward, and if they find the Saperi, the end of the Saperi. And one of the issues of 39th at the moment is, like, first of all, the infantry. Second of all, they don't have any cheap tanks. Like, both of the Soviet decks we have at the moment don't have any really cheap tanks. Like, no T-55, no Leopard, no M48 or even M60 patents. You have nothing like that in that deck. Like in the case of 39th, it's all medium tanks. So bringing good armor somewhere, you only have that mid-range, especially with 39th. Like you don't even have the top end, like you have with 79th with the TADU. You only really have mid-tier options. You have a TADB, TADBV, and T64 BV. But nothing up top and nothing down low. And yeah, push here got eliminated. BMP3 only can carry you so far. Really not a big fan of 39th. And Jasp loses game number 1 in 18 minutes and 13 seconds. So to make it a tie at least, he has to win the next one. Otherwise, Red Cabellero will get the victory here. So all Red Cabellero needs in the next game is a draw to get the victory. But obviously, for scoring, it would be better for him to get a win. And yeah, 5th doing pretty fine here. And at the beginning, it looked quite similar, but then Red Cabellero got the advantage. Engagement by engagement, always a slight bit at a time. And yeah, secured the game in the end. A nice try of a counter push in the middle, by Jasp, but not quite working out. Alif Anar, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a good time. And this time we watch from the other side, as Red Cabellero is now starting here on the left versus Jasp once more on the right, but they have the different side of the map, and they also have different divisions now. This time it's Jasp bringing in the 5th Panzer Division, and Red Cabellero bringing in 8th Infantry, which in my eyes is one of the strongest divisions on this map, but it struggles a bit against the Leopard. So that is the one advantage that 5th has. There's its Leopard 2A3 is quite annoying for the units you have in 8th Infantry, but 8th Infantry with mech rifles can really abuse these deeper forests and win the fights there. And also in the towns, mech rifles not that bad either. So Red Cabellero having an advantage in that regard. Air Force wise, I would guess 5th Panzer is slightly better, but really infantry wise it's heavily outgunned. And its normal M1, its normal Leopards also get beaten by the normal M1 Abrams. So it needs to be careful in that regard as well. We see, as always, currently quite a lot of Aufklärers on the side of Red Cabellero. And on the other side also some Jäger Aufklärers, some Luxus coming in on the side of Jasp. In the rear, some Rolands and some Gepards already with AA. On the other side, a couple of Stingers, the classic American AA option at the moment. Just use Stingers. They help you against everything. They're pretty good against planes. They don't get killed by Seat. And they also have quite good range against helicopters and quite good damage there as well. Aufklärers coming in the south. Especially as on this patch with the 3 veterancy, they also had 105% accuracy. On the new patch, they have less. They only go up to 87% of accuracy. They reduced the accuracy gain per vet level. At the max level, it's instead of 50%, it's only 25%, and on the buff level, it's only 15 instead of 25. So the highest level is now, like vet 2 level is now comparable to vet 1 level before when it comes to accuracy. Rate of fire buff is still the same and so on, so veterancy is still really powerful. I mean, even for accuracy, veterancy can be still really powerful. It's just not quite as OP anymore, and you might be a bit more able to consider what to bring into veterancy instead of just going, yeah, I want everything as high vet as possible, because otherwise it's just not cost efficient enough, which it kind of was beforehand. We'll see if it is good enough now, or if it maybe even has to be nerfed a bit more. Pioneer with Flamethrower and Armbrust here, against quite a couple of mech rifles and some LRS even, and the Jäger Aufklärer here. And it looks like Jasp is able to push this back. So this time Red Cabellero not able to get into his town, but neither is Jasp. Jasp bringing focus into the center and to the north. Especially in the center now, Jäger Aufklärers starting to counter push here against Red Caballero's forces in the center. Leopard arrives, so the AKF has to be careful. Leopard is doing good damage. Gepard here as AA as well. But on the other side comes in what I was talking about, the M1 Abrams, and that matchup is really, really not healthy for the Leopard 1. It's 17 and 15 versus 15 and 7. So, ooh, but if you got side shots, that's a different story. M1 here gets side shotted, gets into cover though, so Leopard didn't see it for a while, so it got another shot off. But Leopard got close enough to actually win that duel. Oh boy! Yeah, that's not supposed to happen, but obviously if you allow for side shots, the math works out a bit different. And I think I cast a curse that M1 gun. M1 Sherman. Abrams. Ah, too many games, guys. Too much Steel Division the last couple of days. Looks here. Engaging. Getting the kill. But Pioneers and Ramprost fighting against Jäger Aufklärers. Military police pushing in as well. Pioneers on the other side. Meanwhile, Leopard 2A3 slowly pushing forward, but more and more units dying around. Engineers coming in over here. Guys, I can't tell you how good a good coffee from a good stove is tasting. After you only drank shitty coffee for like 2 weeks as a coffee addict. The difference. Hey there, Shu. How are you doing? Pioneer sitting around here. Eager after moving in as well. Gepard in looks sitting around here. Red Cabellero once more being the first to bring in control units, so it's going up to +4. At least Jasp brings in one more as well now, but Zone gets neutralized in the rear. So it's a +6 for Red Cabellero for a while. So we'll have a good starting advantage, which might matter if it goes for the full time limit. Yeah, mocha pot, right. And yeah, it is absolutely lovely. Leopard sitting around here. Yeah, you also don't make as much. You don't make a full cup of it though. But yeah, it's really good coffee and it's really tasty. Like I usually use like the normal classic cappuccino coffee for it. Not quite the same. Like the cappuccino machine still makes it a bit stronger, but it's like for sure stronger than normal classic coffee. Just the pressure. Yeah, and I love it. Jaeger moving in. As it's also better taste. It's not like this, don't know. Like Turkish coffee also always tastes more like a warmed up meal is what I would compare it to. And whilst this is like a really, like it has more of the roasty aroma. It, like that's my, and that is what I love about coffee. So the aroma feels a bit better. And filter coffee is just like, yeah, it's like, I don't know, a warmed up pizza on the next day is what I would compare filter coffee with, compared to this coffee, which is like a meal made on the stove as well. Freshly made on the stove. Especially with freshly grinded beans. Really good. So that's why I drink coffee at this time. Usually I don't drink coffee at this time, but it was the first chance of getting one of these in a while, so I had to do it. Yeah, French press is also okay-ish, but also not the biggest fan of it. Onimog running around here, Pioneers and Jaegers running forward. Raven hitting the Gepard. Everything, as I said, but everything better than the standard German filter coffee. Filter coffee is really the worst. Like, you really have to need the caffeine to drink that stuff. Or hate your life. One of those two. Like, even though I am slightly coffee addicted, and I like the taste of normal coffee, if someone offers me filter coffee, I usually say no. Like, it has to be a really bad day that I say, okay, I need that now. Leopards and Pioneers coming in here. Pioneer Flames as well. Like, yeah, for bigger quantities of coffee, either get a bigger mocha pot or, yeah, use a French press. French press is okay as well. Like, that's usually what I do when we have more people coming for coffee. M48 here, hitting the military police. Getting the killed. Meanwhile, Mech Rifle gets the nice snipe on the munition. Leopard here though, sitting in the rear. Meanwhile, Jägerführer coming in to finally get control of this, which would bring it back to only a +1 for Red Cabellero. And Red Cabellero this time under pressure in the north, whilst his pressure on the south is getting stuck slightly. Leopard and so on got nice kills here. So, position seems to be a bit the other way around. Jasp this time stronger in the middle, being the one whose push is still working, whilst Red Caballero's push is getting stuck down here. And Jasp starts ticking. Red Cabellero at least up to 1,100 points, so if he can keep it at a +1, with 30 minutes, he needs to at least make it a tie again. So yeah, 30 minutes is way too long for it actually getting anywhere close to the draw here. Even with a +1. It will be enough. Roland versus Thunderbolt. Raven not finding anything, as this is a Roland 2, not a Roland 3. It's not a radar-guided AA piece, so you can't find the drifts yet. The Raven is useless here. That's why you want to use the Roland 2 over the Roland 3, if you don't have the micro for the Roland 3. Roland 3 has a bit more damage, so especially against an A10, it is really helpful. As this Roland needs 3 missiles instead of only 2 for an A10. And yeah, A10 still survived 2 direct hits from a Roland 2 here. Plus the Roland 3 also has better range, which is also helpful. So A10 actually got the kill against the Roland 2 with direct sight with its 80 GMs. Still has 2 more 80 GMs. The Warthog showing that it is a tanky plane. But it is flying over the map, trying to find new targets, but more Rolands on the horizon. Jasp keeping the +1, 66 points down now. Meanwhile, in the south, Leopard versus M1. M1 getting hit quite hard. Getting killed off by the Leopard once more. What the hell is on with these Leopards versus M1 fights? I really cast a cursed Red Cabellero there, didn't I? How the fuck keep the Leopards winning? I guess the M48 also got a hit off or 2. That might have helped out. But still. Like, I expected the M1 to completely annihilate these guys, but it doesn't. I'm sorry, Red Cabellero. Even though you played the games before I put my eyes on it, I cast a curse that, I'm pretty sure. Like, it was a cast a curse from the future that hit these M1 guns. Leopard 2A3 here, coming in, versus M1 Abrams. This one is not so nice for the M1. 17-15 versus 19-19. So, Leopard clearly at the advantage there. It's also 70 versus 65% accuracy, so gun performance in that regard also higher for the Leopard. Rate of fire exactly the same. Meanwhile, Marder pushing in here, Panzer Grenadier, beating the Jaegers. Jasp now up at +3, has all his positions he controls, plus the center. And keeps the pressure up here, keeps the pressure up high. Red Cabellero is getting some kills, but the traits are pretty equal, so the pressure keeps being high. For now. A10 though, coming around, and that one can change this maybe. Leopard getting hit quite hard, though the 80 GMs, only one of them hitting. And the Gauss gun is decent against lightly armed vehicles with its 6 penetrations, but against Leopards it needs rear shots to really be effective. But it will deal a bit of damage to even the Leopard with its 30mm Gau Avenger. The lovely sound that you will hear in a second, most likely again. The bird. Ooh, but Rolands have arrived. Rolands once more get 2 hits in. F4F not able to hit just yet. He'll try to come around again. Will the A10 make it out though before the F4F is back on its tail? Okay, F4F will not follow. Raven comes around again, but once more Roland 2s not able to be spotted by a Raven. Roland 2s not hitting the Raven either though. One of them hitting, but they need to reload now and they're also out of range. Meanwhile though, Jasp got a Leopard up here, and that's always dangerous. Having units around your point in the rear, in the middle here. That's why you always want to have control of the 3 roads that go there. So that something like this doesn't happen. Because yet now your MUD here is in danger, and also finding the units in your rear, always super annoying. Or maybe have a helicopter up here. Like especially if you have cheap helicopters that can deal with something like this, like a Ito Cobra. But Yeah, not looking too hot here for Red Cabellero. Push in the north, still going well. As the A10 didn't kill the Leopard 2, so the M1 gun couldn't come around. Would have been a second Leopard 2 anyways. More mag rifles on the way. And he really didn't fight at the spaces where his division was at an advantage. Like, not a lot of mag rifles going to the south. He took more the somewhat open space terrain where the Leopards are at an advantage. And even when there were tank fights that could have been won for Red Cabellero, he didn't win them. So in the end, it's not looking too hot. Now +5 for Jasp here. Tornado coming in, deleting something with magic wonder dust. And the +5 is real. Ambrose Pioneers on the search for the mud, but the mud, they already bypassed it. Bit unlucky here. And the Leopard might run out of fuel before it finds the mud. Meanwhile, another F-111 coming in, trying to find the Jägerführer. Will not find it though. Will only find some Unimogs. Will it go down? Nope. It at least doesn't go down. Well, not yet, as an F4F is on its tail. But that one also not hitting just yet. 735 points already for Jasp. If it continues like this, he will have caught on to Red Cabellero in no time. 2 M1 Abrams coming in, but they run once more into hidden Leopards and M48s. And this M1 is quite low, but this time they will win the fight. 2 versus 1. 2 versus 2, and then in the end 2 versus 1. Go forward though without any spotting, and that's never good for tanks. Especially not when you go through buildings. Pioneers of Ambrose should be able to at least deal some damage. They're down to only 2 Ambrose shots, so they need to make them count. They don't quite do that. They are now revealed, so the M1s actually might work out here. Because there's just no AT weapons around that can beat them. No Milan, Martyr, or anything like that. And Red Cabellero surrenders. And this time, Jasp basically with the same advantage, or actually even more, 2000 point advantage. Took really good fights in this game. Spreaded the magic wonder dust as well, pretty well too. With Jäger Aufklärer, this Leopard killing off 2, 3, 4 M1s. With a single Leopard. Absolutely insane. This is not supposed to happen. A Leopard 1A5 is not to be able to kill 4 M1 tanks. And yeah, these two split their points in week number 1. Yeah, tanks will get mustaches too.